449-6100 or visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org. Catholic Cemeteries, serving the Catholic community since 1837.
You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
Good morning, and welcome to the Voice of Charity. I am Phil Zepeda, here with my colleague, Katie Breedeman. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning, Phil.
And we are here Tuesday mornings with all of you tuning in, listening to us on WNDZ, 750 AM in Chicago, and all who are watching our live stream on YouTube and Facebook at Catholic Chicago. So today, we are talking about this universal desire shared by people around the world, a place to call home. Last year, Catholic Charities received more than 77,000 requests for assistance from people in Cook and Lake counties who were homeless or who were on the verge of being homeless. That's just astounding, Katie.
Right.
And that was a 13% increase from the previous year. So this problem is very real and ongoing across our area, if just not pointed out by the data alone. But fortunately, Catholic Charities' experience and network of trusted internal and community partners helps us address immediate needs of clients and offer them a path to greater stability in their lives.
This is such an important issue, Phil. The staff who run our homelessness prevention programs are incredibly dedicated to their work, connecting with people who are really struggling and helping them find a structured path forward. With us today to provide an update on this critical impact area are two homeless prevention leaders at Catholic Charities, Wendy Avila, who is Program Director at the Homelessness Prevention Call Center, and Ashley Stykes, Department Director for our Charities Hub, which is a wonderful new initiative at Catholic Charities to offer even more hands-on assistance to our clients. Welcome, Wendy and Ashley.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to both of you. We're so glad to have you on the show this morning. So, Wendy, let's start with you. You've been skillfully leading this homelessness prevention call center in Cook County for how many years now?
So I've been at Catholic Charities for 16 years. It's going to be 16. And I've been over the homeless prevention call center department for 6 years now. So the call center has actually been around. It was the first homeless prevention call center in Cook County since 2007. And we extended our services to suburban Cook County in 2016.
So you have that interesting perspective of pre-COVID, during COVID, post-COVID, and we want to get into that a little with you. So right now, right off the bat, if someone is homeless or on the brink of being homeless, what are their options in the city of Chicago or suburban Cook County or Lake County? Lay that out for us.
So those who are at risk of homelessness and living in Chicago should call our 311 line, option 3, and that number is 312-744-5000. Those who are at risk of homelessness and living in suburban Cook County can call our suburban Cook County call line, which is 877-426-6515. And both are operated, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30.
So, Wendy, if when someone reaches out to us for help, what are some of the ways that we can help them right off the bat?
So they could call us directly, right? We have these phone lines. The call specialist will provide a pre-screen for those who are experiencing a short-term one-time crisis, seeking security deposit, rent, mortgage, and utilities. We then identify an agency in their area for a more in-depth assessment, where the agency will then follow up with questions and complete a full assessment and collect the documentation to submit the final application.
Got it. So, and Wendy, how are requests received most often? We know obviously this is a call center, so calls, but I guess emails are the number of emails coming into to us are growing as well too.
Right. I mean, I think we always want to encourage people to call us directly via phone, right?
Sure.
The call specialist, it gives you a more, direct contact with us, the call specialist. And so we are able to identify that immediate need. And again, we do encourage that people call us directly. We do have the option for email, but it's always so much better for the interaction, that personal interaction, as opposed to email option.
Right on. And you've got that dependence that people have just on technology. Just they might be more apt to send an email, but obviously that human connection, that one-on-one, is so incredibly important. Wendy, we started off the show talking about statistics, of how many the intake process here and how many cases we're managing through. What are you seeing in 2023 so far?
Right. So like right now, let's say for January through May of 2023, the city line has answered, and that's the 311 line, has answered over 12,000 calls. And again, it's only January through May. In suburban Cook County, we've answered over 18,000 calls. And so overall, for those combined lines, it has been a little bit over 30,000 calls. And again, it's January through May of this year.
That's astounding.
So based on those numbers, you might even exceed, what the total was last year by the end of this year.
Correct. Right. And this is only for, the two lines. We have, our internal line, Catholic Charities,
right, and
our coordinated entry, but specifically for the homeless prevention hotlines, we've answered a little bit over 30,000, and combined just the call center with the Catholic Charities lines has been over 65,000. Again, January through May of this year.
It's so impressive what you and Ashley and your teams do every day, Wendy. Ashley, we do want to get to you, but real quickly, Wendy, before that, can you explain for us some of the reasons that people become homeless? Because sometimes it's really an overnight realization, but other times they have a little bit of warning. Right. Can you explain what some of those reasons are that people come to the help center and look for help?
Right. So many callers that are calling are experiencing job loss, unexpected significant expenses, illnesses, family change in composition, and then just rising rent, housing costs. That's mainly the reason for those who are seeking assistance.
So it hasn't helped the rising costs, the inflation in Illinois over the last year or two. That has not helped the situation for those who are on the brink of it.
Correct. It has not helped. No.
And when you can determine that someone is eligible for short-term financial assistance, can you explain a little bit how those funds are dispersed?
So as mentioned, once we identify a caller is pre-eligible, right? We provide an available referral to the agencies in their area for a more in-depth assessment. And that's where the agencies collect all the documentation. And the agencies who we refer them to are actually the people who distribute the funding to the actual caller. The call center doesn't do that directly. We just provide the referral and complete the pre-screen.
And I think a key point that you've mentioned to me previously is that funds would be directly given to a landlord, for example, and not to a client, correct?
Correct. That's still what we have experienced, is that the agencies are directly working with the landlord or the utility company or the mortgage company.
Which makes a lot of sense. And then can you just also summarize for us how many staff members are in the Homelessness Prevention Call Center? What hours are they on duty? And remind everybody what that phone number and email address are if they need help right now.
Correct. So like the homeless prevention call center, again, it's 311 option 3, and that number is 312-744-5000. And it is staffed by 4 call specialists at the moment. Our suburban Cook County call center is 877-426-6515, and it is also staffed by 4 call specialists. So we operate Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. We asked everyone for their patience because we do have a high volume call, and our call specialists are eagerly waiting to take everyone, but patiently, obviously, making sure that we are listening to the caller.
Wendy, that's great. Thanks for helping us get that framing around so much of this homelessness prevention work. Ashley, let's pivot over to you. You know, you've accomplished a great deal with homelessness prevention programs in Lake County. Paint the picture for us up there. You know, describe some of the community partners you work with to provide assistance in a geographic area that's much different than Cook County.
Sure, absolutely. I'd love to. So I worked with Lake County Financial Assistance since about 2016, and now also currently work with our Cook County Financial Assistance programs too, and with Wendy with the call center. But out in Lake County, we work with a lot of partners to help spend down our homeless prevention dollars throughout all of our regions. So right now we're directly working with Nakasa Behavioral Health Services, and then in July, that will also include our Lake County Housing Authority too. But across all of our regions, we work with what we call our continuum of care leads in these regions. So in Chicago, we work with All Chicago. In Subcook, that's the Alliance to End Homeless in suburban Cook County. And then in Lake County, it's Lake County Community Development. One other great resource we have too, similar to 301, is 211. So right now in Lake County, you can access 211 online. You can access it through text and through the phone. But we also in Lake County, through our intake line, we receive referrals directly from 211 as well. And it's also just getting rolled out the past couple of months out in Metro Chicago. And so we don't have that referral system set up yet, but we use it as a great resource to send our clients to for when they want to look things up on their own, but also for our staff to use too, so that they can access and do some research with their clients on the phone to try to find access to services they might need.
That's fantastic, and you know that's what I would come to expect from Catholic Charities of looking for options and treating the whole person, and to that end. What other services might be provided in treating that whole person, besides requests from those that might be challenged with homelessness? What other types of assistance are you and your teams providing?
Sure. We kind of cover all of the basic needs. So we also have transportation assistance, prescription assistance, and actually in Lake County, we also have a motel voucher program. It's short-term motel stays for those who are homeless and referred to us from our local homeless shelters.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and it is around those basic needs, right? Food and shelter, and sometimes we don't know that people might be challenged with homelessness until they come to us for other services, like a hot meal, and that Ashley and Wendy's teams are very much on the front line of those types of opportunities. How are the staff and volunteers trained to invite guests to learn more about other Catholic Charities programs and services that might be helpful to them?
Sure. I think our agency does a great job of sharing intake lines for other programs so that it's hopefully as well known throughout the agency as possible. But one other way of also training staff and getting that word out on other services is the food pantries is one great way, right? Sharing our program information with food pantry staff, so to distribute to those that come or to post for others to see. One other great resource is what Wendy was mentioning regarding our Catholic Charities line. So those call specialists have resources and are well trained on the services across the agency, and anyone can reach out to those lines to help get connected to those appropriate services.
Well, Wendy and Ashley, your teams are working tirelessly to help people that are challenged with homelessness, at either brewing on the horizon or immediately, on their doorstep. There's a lot more to talk with you about. We want to make sure that we have plenty of time, and we'll have more questions for you. We're going to be throwing it to break, and we'll talk more with Ashley Stykes and Wendy Avila when we come back. You're listening to The Voice of Charity on Catholic Chicago. We'll be right back. For more than 20 years, Catholic Charities Adult Protective Services has been advocating for seniors who are the victims of abuse, neglect, confinement, or financial exploitation. With our partners at local, city, and state agencies, our trained case managers follow through on every concern that is brought to our attention in a cooperative way to ensure that our seniors are safe and protected. According to the Illinois Department on Aging, last year nearly 21,000 cases of elder abuse were reported in Illinois. Of these, only 5% were reported by seniors themselves. So raising awareness is an important part of this issue. If you are concerned about a senior you know, call 800-252-8966. That's 800-252-8966. With your help, we can stop elder abuse and look out for the seniors in our lives.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
Our school communities provide students with academic excellence and character education in a supportive and stable learning environment. Come see for yourself. Visit archchicago.org/findaschool.
Community is core to Catholic Charities' founding mission. For more than 100 years, we have met people and families where they are, serving anyone in need, regardless of their faith, gender, race, or ethnicity. As our world absorbs the economic, political, and social aftershocks of the pandemic, 50% or more of the 6 million people living in Cook and Lake counties have little or no savings. They are a paycheck away from zero. We are deeply grateful to everyone in the Catholic Charities community who partners with us to alleviate the suffering of the people we serve and offer them a better path forward. We are witnessing a message of mercy and hope to a world very much in need. Learn more at CatholicCharities.net.
Welcome back to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Breedham here with Phil Zepeda in the studio, and we're talking today about Catholic Charities' homelessness prevention programs. And we have two of our leaders with us today to provide an update for us this summer. Wendy Avila, who is Department Director for the Homelessness Prevention Call Center, and Ashley Stykes, who is Department Director for our Charities Hub, which is a wonderful new initiative at Catholic Charities that we're hoping that you can tell us more about. Ashley, can you share with us the details of this great new initiative?
Absolutely, I'd love to. So right now, Charities Hub consists of our financial assistance programs throughout all of Catholic Charities and our homeless prevention call center. And it's focused on how these programs work together to provide homeless prevention and basic needs services. The future of Charities Hub is an expansion of this. So the vision is that there will be no wrong door into services at Catholic Charities. Eventually, the call center will serve as an entryway for all programs at Catholic Charities. And the hope is to connect those coming to our door to all of the services they might need in fewer steps.
That makes a lot of sense, Ashley, that if everything is centralized through one hub, maybe people will find out more quickly about other programs and services that can benefit them. Is that kind of the central idea there?
Absolutely, yes.
And can you elaborate a little bit more about how does the Charities Hub differ from what we currently have?
Sure. So right now, the call center provides referrals and contact information for other services across the agency and externally. But Charities Hub, we plan to connect those in need more directly with those services throughout the agency.
And so it's not only just giving a phone number, but actually being the conduit, the people who help make that referral, and it's more of an accompaniment for the client. Am I correct?
Absolutely, yes, that's correct.
And so where does the Charities Hub stand now? When will it be fully operative?
Sure. So Charities Hub is in its very early stages. We are just in the development of it, discussions of what it needs to look like, what we need to be able to do those things that we envision. So it will still be probably a couple of years until it's fully up and running. But we have a great team of leaders working on the hub and in regional services, and we'll work together to make it what we hope it will be.
Because it will be a lot of coordination with our regional offices, won't it?
It will, absolutely. Yes, we will be doing a lot of collaboration.
But it's an exciting future, and that's only going to benefit the clients even more, Phil, right?
Yeah, the access points, we always like to say that, Catholic Charities right in your own community, and giving folks access to whatever programs that they might need for whatever issues or challenges they're facing is truly amazing. And I love this idea of Charities Hub. It makes the organization that much more approachable, right? Let me ask both of you, the work with asylum seekers that Catholic Charities has been working through on the front lines has been some of the most challenging aspects of our work over the past 9 or 10 months. What are the ways in which you and your teams interact with that community and the individuals and the families that have been coming to Chicago? How's that affected your work?
Right. So the call center actually volunteered to receive the asylums who were coming in the last few months. And so we provided a brief intake on them. But specifically, as far as if it's directly had impact the call center, it hasn't. We at the call center actually haven't experienced that overwhelming demand, nor have we seen a drastic change. Our Catholic Charities line would typically show those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That's where many of people who are seeking information and assistance would call us directly. But I know that Catholic Charities is working with the city and collaborating throughout Illinois with them. So,
Ashley, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think a big piece of what our role is to know the resources, right? So that if we do get a call, either at the call center to our case managers providing financial assistance, we just know how to connect the clients to the appropriate resources at Catholic Charities and throughout the counties that we work in.
It's so reassuring to hear you both talk, so confidently about what you do. That's got to be such peace of mind to anybody who calls either of you to look for homelessness prevention services. Really, you're just both so qualified and so compassionate and knowledgeable that really I see myself calling and hearing one of your voices or someone that you've trained and thinking, you're a real credit to Catholic Charities and the people we serve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I also just wanted to ask, without putting you on the spot about any statistics, and oftentimes with homelessness prevention and the reduction of poverty nationwide, we talk about the return on investment and how if you give someone short-term assistance, then that reduces society's financial expectations of helping that person long-term. And so there's so many studies that have been done on this nationwide. And like I said, without putting you on the spot about data for Catholic Charities, have you seen that in your own work with clients that if Catholic Charities gives them short-term financial assistance, that in the long run, over a year or 2 years, it really does prevent homelessness and helps them kind of over the hump until they can stabilize their lives? Wendy, can I start with you?
Yeah, I mean, family, we definitely have seen it. Family who have received and have been unstable and received the assistance, we've seen the help that has provided them in providing new, stable housing, right? Many callers are living paycheck to paycheck. So when income is interrupted, they are at risk of, homelessness. So it's harder to get back on your feet when you have your income interrupted. But we have seen how the benefits of the prevention funds assisting those who are called.
That's wonderful. How about you, Ashley? Have you seen that in Lake County as well?
Yeah, I definitely, agree with that, right? Providing that short-term assistance to a family in need ensures that they maintain that stable housing and they can focus their energy on the stability of other areas of their life, right? When, you lose a job and you're in need of financial assistance, it's not just your housing that's impacted, right? There's many other areas that are impacted. So if we can keep them stable in their house, then, they can continue to move forward on becoming stable in all areas of their life, which then would hopefully result in more longer-term stability.
So, Wendy and Ashley, before we close the show, we've got a couple more minutes. To help our listeners kind of paint this picture in their mind of these types of programs, We'd love to hear from each of you about a story that particularly hits home about the people that we've served, that is really emblematic of the way that Catholic Charities has this faith calling to respond to people in need. I'd love to hear you speak from the heart even more with a case study to share. Do you each have a story to share? Wendy, let's start with you if you do.
So a lot of our callers, we don't really see the impact or the end result, right? We provide the pre-eligible screening to them, and we don't really see the end result we see statistics on it, but we don't necessarily get a call back from a caller letting us know that they've received the assistance. But again, overall, seeing the statistics for ourselves, having our partners share that outcome, in general, we see the impact that we have provided to the callers.
We can see how profound the data is and the volume of calls that are coming in, and obviously Catholic Charities is an answer and a pathway for those families. So even the data is speaking volumes and touching your heart. So Ashley, what would you add?
Yeah, sure. So I do have a story from a family that we served in Lake County recently. So this was a married couple with 2 daughters. They came to us because they were behind in their rent as of February due to a job loss. So the mother had a daytime job. She had to leave it due to one of the daughter's health issues that resulted in for her to see a specialist daily. So she couldn't maintain daytime hours anymore for employment. So she had to leave that job. She did eventually find a new job with overnight hours, all while the husband was still working full time. But because they had that gap in not having her employment to also add into her husband's employment, they did fall behind. But once they got those 2 incomes again, when she found that overnight job, they were able to maintain moving forward. But it did leave them with a couple of months of rent that they were behind. We were able to help them with 3 months of rental assistance, and then they were able to pay come this past June and then moving forward. But we did get a thank you email to the caseworker from the mom. It was in Spanish, so the program supervisor did help me translate it so I could share it today.
Yeah.
And so here's what she shared. She said, "I understand that you are part of a group of people that make up your organization to help those most in need. But I would like to thank you individually for taking the time to be very professional and humane in the way you handled our request. It has helped our family so much. God willing, we can one day give back to the organization so that you may continue helping families in need. Once again, thank you. Thank you for your professionalism. It is appreciated."
That's
Wow,
beautiful.
that's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
That's nice.
And I think Katie and I echo, just our thanks, our personal thanks to both of you and your teams for this amazing work that you're doing on behalf of Catholic Charities.
No, so that was a perfect way to, kind of say what I'm sure many of the clients that you meet say every day. Just thank you for helping them in their time of need, right? Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
That's
Thank you.
amazing. Well, if you, in our last couple seconds here, if either of you had anything to share with the public about that they should know about people who are homeless or on the brink of homeless, in a few words, Wendy, what would you say?
We're all relatable to each other, right? There's no one that we all have moments in our lives that there's a crisis and we all need help. So we're here to support.
Beautifully said. And Ashley?
Yeah, I would just say, remember that those who come to us for assistance with housing, they're in a time of crisis and vulnerability while also trying to maintain all the other day-to-day activities and stressors that we all deal with. And our staff are always here to guide and support them through that challenging time so that they can get back to that sense of stability.
Well, to both of you, thank you so much for being part of this important discussion. You've helped our listeners gain this better perspective on how Catholic Charities is a leader in preventing homelessness in Cook and Lake counties, and you've helped our audience grow an appreciation for how their support of Catholic Charities helps individuals and families who suddenly or over time find access to a home and basic needs at risk. So if anyone would like to donate directly to our homelessness prevention efforts, you can do so at CatholicCharities.net.
And we'd like to just share that phone number again for anybody who would like to reach our different homelessness prevention services. Call 312-655-7700, or you can email gethelp@catholiccharities.net, and they will put you in touch with Wendy and Ashley and their colleagues to assist you. I too join with Phil, and thank you so much for being on the show today, Wendy and Ashley.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. And we invite all of you back again next week for another edition of The Voice of Charity. For now, this is Katie Breedeman with Phil Zepeda, and we thank you for tuning in and believing in the mission of Catholic Charities.